Man, I can't duct tape this ball to a hanger if the tape won't come out. Oh, hey everybody. Never mind what I'm doing. You are watching Comics Corner right here on Technicolor Muck. And today we're talking about Black Panther, baby. I've been excited for this movie for a bit. Ever since Captain America Civil War, with two things piquing my interest. That awesome trailer to everyone's reaction ranging from, holy fuck, that was cool, to, oh shit, that was awesome, to, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. WWE's actually naming a pay-per-view Great Balls of Fire. I mean, Jesus, the innuendo alone, and you have Bash at the Beach. Why would you... Oh, there's a Black Panther trailer. Nice. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there, after that awesome hell trailer, or if you're watching this months later, the movie, or years later, the sequel, while I'm also eating out of a garbage can, no doubt, you're probably jonesing for some more Black Panther. Well, I got you covered. Today we're looking at Black Panther by Christopher Priest, the Complete Collection, Volume 1. Try saying that 3 times fast while I explain what that is. See, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, Valiant Comics writer Christopher Priest jumped over to Marvel. He still worked on his independent, on his acclaimed cult classic, Quantum and Woody, which I read the first volume of and is just the best. And I hope the sequel, written by Priest pops up on Comixology Unlimited. It's basically Netflix for comics, and they recently added Marvel, hence my reading the Complete Collection. I wanted to read this collection for years, I just never had the money, even on sale. So I'm more than happy to finally get the taste of it, and I gotta say, it's impressive. But what's this run about, anyway? Well, it's about two men. T'Challa, King of Wakanda, Captain of Industry, technological genius on the level of Tony Stark, Hunter, defender of his people, and also known as the Mighty, the Terrible, the awe-inspiring Sheila the Great. He's also known as the Black Panther, representative of the Panther God and King of Wakanda. A mantle passed down from generation to generation by right of combat. And he's also a long-time Avenger, which definitely comes into play here. The other man, mighty, amazing. I can't finish that. He's an average slob like you and me. He happens to work for the State Department. He's Everett K. Ross, assigned by his girlfriend for reasons I won't spoil, but she has her reasons for not wanting to work with T'Challa. Bounce, 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 bounce. But yeah, Everett finds himself assigned to T'Challa during a visit to the state. You see, even though there's unrest going on back home in Wakanda, since T'Challa let some refugees stay at the border, and both the other side in the conflict and the refugees and the Wakandans are mad at him for it. This probably isn't the time to go to the States, but it's a matter of honor. Basically, a girl who is the spokesgirl for a charity he set up in the U.S. has been found dead, and he's going on a good old-fashioned rampage to find who. Beating up Hood, hoods with the help of his bodyguards, the Dormality. I know I bangled that, moving on. And just having a grand old time. Oh, also, back home, a demented, creepy man who made a deal with Mephisto. No, not Peter Parker. His name's named Akebe, who has a little puppet he talks to and is delightfully insane. Gets power and eventually gets Chilla ousted with his stepmom. Long story. You'll see it in the comic if you read it. Taking co-power. Now T'Challa has to figure... Oh, and speaking of Mephisto, he comes to the door of the place Ross is staying at with T'Challa during his visit and gives Ross, who lost his pair of pants in a brawl earlier while escorting T'Challa around, a new pair, which now he thinks he sold his soul for. Yes, Black Panther does in fact fight the devil, after issues of hunting thugs while his sidekick stays in their low-rent flat, trying to take his pants off repeatedly, only for them to magically respawn. Yeah, you might see by now the weird juxtaposition. This book is one part geopolitical action book, where Black Panther has to juggle the demands of his country with his responsibilities in the state as he's exiled, before finding the true depths of Akebe's manipulations and going back to face him. And a buddy comedy where him and a scared out of his gore due to all the shit he keeps getting into due to just being in the general proximity of a superhero, old pudgy white guy. And it's hilarious and awesome. Awesome hilarious. Seriously though, that's the run's strength. Ross is important because he narrates. And not exactly in a straight order to the frustration of his girlfriend boss, but he basically tells the entire story. It still gives you a good impression of who T'Challa is, his character, and how badass he is, and he still speaks plenty enough and does plenty enough to get an idea of who he is. But it also adds levity to the story as we hear Ross's antics and see him go through stuff. Sometimes it doesn't work when he talks about being attracted to T'Challa's teenage bodyguards. Just, no, I do not want to hear about that. No, please God, no. But for the most part, it's just fun, just hearing this guy shoot the shit and tell us all about his wacky misadventures with the king of a nation. That won't be the movie we're getting, but it's sure a fun ride. But it's also heavy on stories. We see the toll the crown takes on him, the sacrifices he makes, and also just what a moral, upstanding giant of a man T'Challa really is. We also get some really awesome action sequences. We get him fighting Kraven at least twice, once in a burning building. You get him fighting Hydro Man and being really clever about it. And if you don't know who Hydro Man is, he's one of Spider-Man's enemies. And this book is one of the best uses I've seen of him as he takes up assassin work, which basically he's made entirely of water. As in he could sneak into just about anywhere. Why it took until this run and never after for anyone to think of that as beyond me. But how he solves it, I won't spoil for you, but damn. Just damn. But he's also not perfect. For instance, he offhand mentions they joined the Avengers just to spy on them, and does make mistakes in judgment. And sometimes his idealism costs, such as disabling Wakanda's Black Ops group, the White Wolves, which have a fancy other name, but I'm just using that. And he soon finds he needs them despite how much he doesn't want to have to. It's just a really good book, and the reason I'm not saying or spoiling much is that part of the fun is how it unfolds. One thing I will spoil, though, Akebe at one point, I won't say how, he gets to chill into a death trap. To give you an idea of just how weird this book can get, despite being dead serious at times, it's a 60s Batman style death trap. As in, it's a giant crane game with reinforced glass balls full of explosives, and the one ball that isn't is full of Ross and some goofy battle armor he took earlier, long story, and a naked T'Chilla. Just, it's both fucking hilarious and just, what in the hell? Like, he actually got away with that in a mainstream superhero comic that's still fairly serious and made it work. That's what the majesty of the run for me. It uses various pieces of the Marvel Universe to tell a story. It fills in a character who, while he'd gotten a few solo runs, at this point in the 90s hadn't had any solo work in years. And basically just been an accessory to the Avengers. And it's fun. It's serious and dramatic when it needs to be, but fun and bizarre when it needs to be. And on top of all this, it has Black Panther ripping Mephisto's goddamn heart out. I mean, among other feats of awesome. If a superhero doesn't appeal to you after I tell you that, and while not being a magic guide too much, despite relying on a Panther god, rips out the devil's heart and puts it in a jar to attempt to use as leverage, I do not know what you're doing here. This book is awesome, worth a check out, and worth the full price of admission, or a free trial on Comixology Unlimited just to check it out. It is a masterpiece, and I desperately hope to read more. Coming up, we got some Spider-Man, some other stuff, and the crappy other recent Panther run. Not The Nation Under Our Feet, that is pretty damn good. What little I read of it is pretty good. Even if it was a bit complex, and I probably need to read it in one sitting. Reginald Hudlin run. I'm Jacob Mangley. That's my opinion. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And Lord help me.